Propelled by capitalist reforms, China has experienced nearly 9% annual growth rates over the past 25 years. Real output has more than quadrupled over that period. In 2004, China's growth rate was 10.1%, and in 2005 it was 9.8%. Expanding output and income have boosted domestic savings and investments, and the growth of capital goods have further increased productivity, output, and income. The rising income, together with inexpensive labor, has attracted more direct foreign investments, like from a total of $150 billion between 2003 and 2004. China's real GDP and real income have grown much more rapidly than China's population. Per capita, income has increased at a high rate of 8% since 1980. This is particularly noteworthy because China's population has expanded by 14 million a year. Based on exchange rates, China's per capita income is now about $1,390 annually, but because the prices of many basic items in China are still low and are not totally reflected in exchange rates, Chinese per capita purchasing power is estimated to be equivalent to $6,300 of income in the U.S. The growth of per capita income in China has resulted from increased use of capital, improved technology, and shifts of labor away from lower productivity towards higher productivity uses. One such shift of employment has been from agricultural towards rural and urban manufacturing. Another shift has been from state-owned enterprises towards private firms. Both shifts have raised the productivity of Chinese workers. Chinese economic growth has been accomplished by a huge expansion of China's international trade. Chinese exports rose from $5 billion in 1978 to $752 billion in 2005. These exports have provided the foreign currency needed to import consumer goods and capital goods. Imported of capital goods from industrial advanced countries have brought with them highly advanced technology that is put in, for example, factory design, industrial machinery, office equipment, and telecommunication systems. China still faces some significant problems in its transition to the market system. However, at times, investment booms in China have resulted in too much spending relative to production capacity. The result have been some period of 15 to 25% annual rates of inflation. China has successfully confronted the inflation problem by giving its central banks more power so that when appropriate, the banks can rise interest rates to damp down investment spending. This greater monetary control has reduced inflation significantly. China inflation rates was a mild 1.2% in 2003, 4.1% in 2004, and even 1.9% in 2005. And in 2010, its economy has also become steady. Nevertheless, the overall financial systems in China remains weak and inadequate. Many unprofitable state-owned enterprises own colossal sums of money on loans made by the Chinese state-owned bank. It is an estimate of nearly $100 billion. Because most of these loans are not controllable, the government may need to bail out these banks to keep them in operation. Unemployment is also a problem, even though its transition from an agriculture-dominant economy to a more urban industrial economy has been gradual. Considerable displacement of labor has occurred. There is substantial unemployment and underemployment in the interior regions of China. China still has much work to do to integrate its economy fully into the world system of international finance and trade. As a condition of joining the World Trade Organization in 2001, China agreed to reduce its high tariffs on imports and remove restrictions on foreign ownership. In addition, it agreed to change its poor record of protecting intellectual property rights such as copyrights, trademarks, and patents. Unauthorized copy of products is a major source of trade friction between China and the U.S. So too is the artificially low international value of Chinese currency, which has contributed to a $200 billion annual trade surplus with the U.S. China's economic development has been very uneven geographically. Hong Kong is a wealthy capitalist country with per capita income of about 24,000. The standard of living is also relatively high in China's southern provinces and coastal cities, although not nearly as high as it is in Hong Kong. In fact, people living in these special economic zones have been the major beneficiaries of China's rapid growth. In contrast, the majority of people living elsewhere in China have very low incomes. Despite its remarkable recent economic success, China remains a relatively low-income nation, but that status is quickly changing. You know, in my opinion, the U.S. can learn a lot from Hong Kong, and so a lot of countries in the world. Hong Kong is an example of free enterprise at its best.